Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is the second dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hello, Tracy Changes. That guy from Texas, Rady King, Just Biz, AB the Great, K Samson, C Mommy is Black, FBA DOS, Cut the Check, Soldier M, Susan, C Stan is Black, Lot Wizard, okay, Murray's Creations, LeMarcus, I see you, Christine, Joe Gardner. All right, so shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Let's get into it. Now, first of all, listen to this. They say a man arrested and charged with murder in the killing of Michaela Bryant. Second arrest in the case. So a second person connected to the murder of Michaela M.K. Bryant was arrested on Monday, according to the Tallahassee Police Department. Now, Khalil Ogilvy, age 26, faces a first-degree felony murder charge and remains in the Leon County Detention Facility without bail after police say a drug deal ended in gunfire. Now, according to investigators, Ogilvy agreed to meet Precious Charlton, age 23, at the Province Point apartment complex to exchange $650 for a quarter pound of marijuana. Now, Charlton picked Bryant up from Governor's Square Mall before they got the car washed. They ate ice cream, or they went to the ice cream store and ate ice cream, headed over to the apartment complex to make the exchange. So when the pair arrived, two men, one of whom police say was Ogilvy, walked over to the women, who each had handguns in their laps, according to court records. That's when police say Ogilvy approached Bryant and pulled out a handgun in an attempt to rob them, according to an arrest affidavit. Now, Bryant grappled with Ogilvy over the gun, and the gun went off. So Charlton drove Bryant to Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, where she died during surgery, according to the arrest affidavit. Now, she was a 22-year-old Florida A&M University graduate who was remembered by her family and friends as a stellar student and inspirational leader of the university's cheerleading team. I'm sorry, people, but to me, this absolutely sounds like an episode of Power, Book 2, with Tariq and all that drug dealing going on at that college and all the people getting killed and everything, and girls carrying guns and being just as complicit in it as the guys. Doesn't that sound like 50 Cent's whole script? I'm so serious. So Charlton, a FAMU student, this is sad, absolutely. LeMarcus said, stay strapped. They were strapped, beloved. They said they had guns on their laps. Now, so anyway, Charlton, a current FAMU student, was arrested Saturday and charged with a third-degree felony murder and possession of narcotics with intent to sell. She identified Ogilvy in a police lineup, but could not identify the other man, who she said looked a bit younger, possibly 18 to 20, according to the arrest affidavit. Now, on Monday evening, TPD spokesperson Alicia Turner said no other suspects in the case have been identified. So I'm going to tell you like this. That is really sad. That really is sad. Let me show you all a picture of her for those of you who don't know who she is. Very sad indeed. But when you get involved in drug deals, honey, and people carrying guns, and here's the thing. I mean, even if you're not privy to how drug dealers behave on the streets, you haven't grown up around that, you've not seen them or whatever, I'm sure by now people have seen enough movies and shows to know that that's a dangerous lifestyle. So if you're riding around with the drug dealers and carrying guns and you're going with them to do drug deals, these things could happen, and you should know that. You put yourself in harm's way. You put yourself in bad predicaments. I'm just saying, that's just a fact. So, and then Beatzilla said, all in college, I have to wonder. Beatzilla, that's exactly why I said it sounds like a script from 50 Cent's show. Because all those kids on there selling drugs, most of them are in college too. And they're just doing all of the most egregious things. It's not the lifestyle to be in. Absolutely, Judah Queen. C-Stan said, very unfortunate. Well, when you lie down with dogs, honey, you're going to wake up with fleas. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Hold on, let me share the screen so you all can see this picture of her before I continue. That's her right there. So, and you just have to wonder. Odd Negroes official said just make all drugs legal. Now, you know that's not going to happen, okay? And nor should it. So, with that all being said, listen. Melanated Brown said, I have to watch Power. Yeah, book 2. It is a shame. But like I said, people bring these things on themselves. Okay? These girls were in there with guns on their laps participating in drug deals. They brought this on themselves. Now, I know that sounds cold-hearted, but it's the truth. You see, unlike Breonna Taylor, who the devils tried to say brought that on herself because she was dealing with a drug dealer, Breonna Taylor wasn't riding around with drug dealers in cars, making drug deals and holding guns on her laps, and then getting into scuffles with the opposition who's trying to rob them. I'm just saying. And if you're a college student, why would you be involved in something like this just to ruin your whole career, your life before it even gets started, or to end up dead? I mean, this is just all so sad and crazy. Yes, Judah Queen says her life is important. Yes, your life is. Your life is. And like I tell you, people, don't be going around here. I mean, don't Black people already have enough struggles to be concerned with than going out here throwing rocks at the penitentiary? Honey, please. All right? C-Stan said, it's the demons come in college. Okay? Dead or either in jail is what happens, says Terry Henn. Absolutely. Odd Negroes official said, because people are broke. Broke? That's no excuse to be out here doing drug deals and carrying guns. I'm sorry, that's just not an excuse. These are the same type of people that get into shootouts and drive-bys, and young kids who had nothing to do with it, innocent people walking across the street, get shot and killed. Because they have a lot of gunplay. Pay attention. They have a lot of gunplay. That's what they do. So I don't have any empathy or sympathy for it. I don't care. If you're broke, get a job. Do something, right? I mean, crime isn't the only answer to your problems. That's all I'm saying. The market said Black people ain't too broke now. Well, some Black people are broke, but at the end of the day, crime is not the answer. Because if you think you're broke now, imagine how broke you're going to be when you get caught. And then you have to get an attorney and all that. And if you had a job, you're going to lose it because you're sitting in jail. And then just think about those consequences. I'm just saying. C-Stan said demons are cunning. All these people who do nefarious things, C-Stan, aren't doing so at the behest of demons. Some of them are just demons themselves. And they choose to do these things, beloved. That's how that goes. They choose to do these things themselves. Demons don't just influence everybody. Some people influence their own selves. Trust me when I tell you. Some people are the demons of which we speak. Now, I'm not saying she was a demon, but I'm just speaking in general. There's some people who are out here walking around as demons, and then they always want to say, oh, the devil made me do it, or this, that, and the third. No, you did that because that's what you chose to do. Because people know right from wrong, and the Most High gives us all something that we can use, and it's called free will. You make the choice. You wake up every day with two things, a choice and a chance. You have a choice to do right or wrong, and you have a chance to make a difference. Now, which one are you going to choose? I'm just saying. Some people wake up with violence. Clearly, that's what they did. So listen to this. Former Officer Brett Hankinson, the thug, who fired shots wildly and foolishly into Breonna Taylor's home while she was in there with her boyfriend and minding their own Black business, so less. And then you remember he was arrested and charged with wanton endangerment for the bullets that went into the neighboring apartments where 3 people resided. Luckily, no one was hurt or killed. Now, so anyway, the former Louisville Metro Police detective is on trial for his role in the shooting that claimed the life of Breonna Taylor. Now, he wants the press. Listen to this. He has the nerve to be making requests. Please. He said he wants the press and public banned from part of the court proceedings. Now, according to the Courier-Journal, Hankinson's attorney, Stu Matthews, asked the judge to prevent journalists and the public from watching the questions of potential jurors, which begins on February the 1st, that's today, of 2022. Matthews says the news coverage of Hankinson's case was prejudicial to the defendant, and a lot of it was factually inaccurate and would be inadmissible as evidence at a trial. Well, we'll see about that. He did not name which coverage wasn't accurate. He likely didn't name which coverage wasn't accurate because none of the coverage was, okay? It all sounded actual and factual. Now, per my research and studying of the case and following it, he also said the high publicity of controversial trial of the controversial trial could make jurors afraid their identities would be revealed. Now, why would that happen? Why would that make them think that? When we know that when they have numerous trials, especially these high-profile trials, of course, the public as well as the media is often in there. Okay, and the jurors' names and identities have not been exposed before. So why would they think that he's really grasping at straws with a straw argument and making a lot of BS excuses? Now, he said to at least limit the reporting, whether by the media or by individual citizens during the initial individual voir dire process, would alleviate some of the potential for prejudicing potential jurors, he said in the motion. He can miss me with it. I'm sorry, he really can. Attorney Michaela Bryant said multiple media organizations, including the Courier-Journal, the Associated Press, as well as WDRB Media, will oppose efforts to block them from the proceedings. Of course they will. They want the juicy news and details and the salacious headlines. Now, the public has a fundamental interest in knowing justice is being done, Bryant says. The Attorney General's office, which is acting as the special prosecutor in the case, is also opposing the closing of the jury questioning. The Commonwealth, he says, the Commonwealth recognizes the competing interest between the right to an impartial jury and the right to public and media access. A motion from the office reported this. Now, he says here, the Commonwealth believes the balance favors access, even if the court decides to place some limitations on that access. Hankerson is accused of firing his gun into the home of the person who lived next to Breonna. We already know all that. Now, Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly and Detectives Miles Cosgrove, who were also involved in the shooting, were not charged. Taylor's death sent shockwaves through Kentucky and beyond. It promoted calls for search warrant reforms across the country. So we'll see how that all turns out. But he's got a lot of nerve, doesn't he? Sitting there asking for he's got the nerve to make requests. He should feel lucky, right, that he's not being charged with first-degree murder. That's all I'm saying. That's what he needs to be. He needs to feel lucky about that. Now, listen to this. You all know Jussie Smollett is going for his sentencing very soon. So they say former Empire actor Jussie Smollett will be sentenced on March the 10th, according to his attorney, Tamara Walker. Walker confirmed the news with CNN on Tuesday. The sentencing comes months after Smollett was convicted in Illinois for staging a hate crime against himself. I'm sorry, I have to laugh every time I hear that. Staging a hate crime against himself. But let me tell y'all something. You know what's crazy though? Y'all remember how many cases that I have reported and that you've read about or seen news clips about where Becky's and Karen's have lied on Black men and said the Black men raped them, attacked them, or whatever, and then we find out through conclusive evidence that it was all lies. You know, the funny thing is they never made such an issue about any of those women as they have about Jussie. They haven't made, never made such headlines and talked so much about it. Remember just a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4, it was more than a couple, but remember the white woman who lied and said a Black man attacked her in the park? She was so serious and she gave a description and everything. And the police even saw somebody that they thought fit the description that she gave fraudulently. But then when they looked at the camera footage of the surrounding neighboring buildings, they found that she was there in the park by herself. So clearly she staged a hate crime against herself. And I say hate crime because she said it was a Black man and she's white. So you could have, assumed that she was talking about a hate crime, right? But nevertheless, she made the whole thing up. And I didn't see them give her any of the smoke that they've given Jussie. I'm just saying, make it make sense. Okay? What about the ones who lied on the 2 football players and caused them to lose their scholarships and get kicked out of school, only to come back later and tell the truth and found out that they were lying? Numerous of cases. We could go on and on all evening, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So anyway, Goes on to say in December of 2021, a jury found him guilty on 5 counts of class 4 felonies. BNC previously reported this information. Now, count 1 accused Smollett of telling Chicago police officer Muhammad Baig that he was the victim of a hate crime. Smollett claimed 2 men put a noose around his neck in the early hours of the night on January the 29th, 2019. Count 2 refers to him telling Baig that he was the victim. He was a victim of battery, alleging that the attackers beat him up and poured bleach on him. Counts 3 and 4 for making the same claims to a different officer, Kimberly Murray. Count 5 accuses him of telling Murray he was the victim of battery. Now, count 6 applies because Smollett reported he'd been the victim of aggravated battery weeks later on February the 14th of 2019, according to the Associated Press. He was found guilty of all charges except count 6. So during the trial, he took the stand and claimed that he was attacked by 2 men who yelled racial and homophobic slurs at him. Emi Abimbola and Alabinho Asundaro testified on behalf of prosecutors and alleged Smollett paid them $3,500 and told them to put the noose around his neck and yell out racial slurs. Now, defense attorneys pushed back against the statements from the brothers, alleging they claimed the attack was staged because of their dislike for Smollett. Smollett's sentence could range from community service and probation to 3 years in prison. Well, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that Smollett is likely just going to get probation. At least I hope he just gets probation. I don't want Jussie to go to prison. No, I don't want him to go to prison. He didn't hurt anyone other than himself and his reputation. I mean, I know that he lied and clearly he was wrong. Just Ben said he's the gay Tupac. Well, that is what he deemed himself as, no less. But did you put that in the chat for me to turn on Jussie? Because I'm not going to. I like Jussie. Yes, he lied. Yes. Clearly he's nefarious to a degree. But I don't want Jussie to go to prison because, hey, if all those Karens and Beckys and Kates and Susan Amy's who've lied and Carolyn Bryant is still laid up in her bed somewhere with her old ugly self after getting Emmett Till killed, never spent a day in jail, you think I want him to go for lying? All the lies they told collectively, please dismiss me with it. Now, Jussie needs to get probation and maybe 100 hours, maybe 200 at the max, in my opinion, of community service. Okay? Of community service. Terry Hinn said, I hope he gets probation. Yes, right? Justice for Jussie. Justice for Jussie. Miss Matthews said, Miss Matthews says Emmett Till's accuser admitted to lying. Yes, and still got away with it. Absolutely. Martina says he should do community service. Absolutely. Tupac would beat their butt if he was alive. If Tupac was alive, honey, Jussie wouldn't have never said that he was the gay Tupac. Okay? Pay attention. If Tupac was still here, there's no way Jussie would have said that. I promise you. Okay? So Ayon said, make Jussie right. I will not lie 100 times. You are nefarious, okay? Jussie Bussy going to be leaking in prison. Oh my Lord, Stan, what is wrong with you? FBA DOS said, throw him in general population. Oh, absolutely not. Let us not do that. Okay? Jussie will be visited by Lil Nas X. I'm out of here. This is all too much. Now y'all are just going in, okay? For no reason. I have to go. Like Tasha K would say in her famous words, now I gotta go. All right? So everyone please like and share. LaMarcus said Jussie is our brother. That's right, LaMarcus. You tell him that is our brother. All right? We love Jussie at the end of the day. Like I said, seriously though, in all seriousness, if all these Karens and Kates and Heathers and Amy's didn't go to jail for the lies they told on Black people, Black men, right? Specifically, he shouldn't go to prison. That's all I'm saying. All right? And then to think that the plantation mammy, Ketanji Brown Jackson, didn't want to say yay or nay when they asked her, was the federal judicial system full of systemic racism? She had nothing to say. Well, we have numerous cases to attest to the fact that, yes, it is. Okay? They're going after Jussie for a hate crime that they say he committed against himself. But when Black men and women are found swinging from trees, clearly lynched, right? Clearly things done to them that they couldn't have done to themselves. Oh, there's nothing to see here, folks. This doesn't look like there was any foul play. It was a suicide. Yes, there's absolutely systemic racism. And those people who do those things to Black people and they never get charged for it, they never even get sought out or investigated because the police just lie and say that the Black people did it to themselves. Yes, let Jussie get off. Let Jussie get off. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Odd Negroes Official says exactly, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the notification bell and the word all. And hold on. Royal Jukebox says, Jussie is corny as hell. Y'all stop capping. I mean, he can be corny all he wants. He's still Black. Okay? Yes. At the end of the day, he's still Black. So, like I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Nobody's capping because capping is lying. We're not lying about what he did. We said that he did it, and we don't want him to go to prison for it. And that's just what it is. Now, you can disagree, but it is what it is. Everyone, I hope to see you all in the next chats on the original QueenAShakur show. Yeah, we're going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery's family speaking out about that sneaky little trick that the DOJ tried to pull. I hope to see you all in the next chats. Peace.